What's up guys, this is OG Movie Reviews. My name is Owen and welcome to another top 5 and 10 video. This video, it is time to recap the summer movies that came out in 2018 because summer movie season has now ended. So it's time for me to do my top 5 favorite summer films of 2018. Now I know, a lot of people say because they know I live in Australia, it's not summer here. Yes, you're correct, it's now winter and it's now going into spring because today's the 1st of September. Yes, I get that. But, guys, just because it's not summer here, it doesn't mean to me it's still summer movie season. Summer movie season to me means big movies that come out this year. Big blockbusters that came this year. The summer movie season is actually the biggest movie point of years, you know? Like, it's like where big movies come. And I think that's the right time for me to recap those big movies that came out this year. And I'm not going to do this top 5 list alone. I actually have a little collab with somebody. Her name is Olivia. Olivia, my cousin, my favorite cousin in the whole wide world. And of course, she has been in a couple of my videos. She's been in my top 5 favorite Disney films, and she helped me with the OCD awards for 2018. So, cuz, thank you so much for being in those videos, and I want to say a big thank you for helping me doing this top 5 list. She hasn't seen as much films in this summer. There are some films that she heard was good that she put on the list, and I thought that's absolutely fine with me. That is great, because you know what? Cuz, the films you haven't seen on the list, I recommend you to go see it. But she's seen most films, so that is great. So guys, I'm also going to add some categories on this list as well, which is most surprising, most disappointing, and worst, before I start this top 5 list. So, cuz, take it away with the first category.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia, I'm Owen's cousin, and I'll be presenting the films that are the most surprising, disappointing, and the worst, and also my top 5 films for the summer of 2018. So to start with the most surprising film of summer 2018, was one that I was actually genuinely surprised about. I saw the trailer for it a couple of times and I was a little bit excited leading up to it, but then in the back of my mind I'm like, it might just be another cheesy teen romance film, but then when I watched it I was actually really surprised by it, and that's To All the Boys I've Loved Before. I just thought it wasn't as cheesy as all the other teen kind of Netflix films out there, and I just found it really genuinely enjoyable. So that was the most surprising film of summer 2018 for me.
Wow, All the Boys I've Heard Before. I have to see that film. I had researched that film, and that film is produced by Will Smith. I better check this movie out. So guys, my most surprising film of the summer in 2018 was the movie that was less insightful. I was looking for some movies what I reviewed in that time period that I wasn't excited for, but it turned out as a big surprise for me, and this is the movie right here. This is the movie that I'm like thinking, does it need to be made? It's a sequel, that's a clue. Yeah, does it have to be made? Because I thought the first movie was just okay, it was a fun movie to watch, but I went out of the theater like really surprised. I've never been surprised in a movie like this since this year, and that is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Yes, as I said before, I thought the first Mamma Mia film was okay. I thought it was a fun movie. It does have some fun musical moments. And you know what? Meryl Streep saw the entire movie. But guys, I think this is a lot better than the first one. I thought this movie was good. I really enjoyed a lot of moments in this film, more than I thought I would. Like, when the trailers came out, I'm like, it's going to be the exact same movie as the first one. It's going to recap when young Meryl Streep's there. It's going to repeat the same songs all over again. And it did. But they also add some new songs as well, and I think the old song in this movie made more sense than the first one, you know? Like, it does tell a story at the exact same time. But also, the new songs in this film, that is so underrated. I never heard these songs ever. It became so memorable to me after when I see it in this film. But also, not just that, the musical moments are just fun to watch, and also the cast in this movie were much better than it was in the first movie. Especially Lily James as the young Meryl Streep movie, which sold this entire movie. And also, like Amanda Seyfried, Pierce Brosnan, they're still really fun to watch in the film. The only thing I didn't like about the movie is Cher. Like, I thought she wasn't in the movie much. She was only in the movie in the final act, and we kind of felt like she's just there for the sake of being there. But that is it with the flaws, because I did have a fun time with this film. Is this film great? No, it's not the best of the year. It does have flaws, including it just keeps flashing back to the present and past. I would like it more if this movie just took place in the past, like, just on its own, because it would have been more of a great movie to me. But you know what, this film is still a fun film, and it really surprised me. I watched this with my grandparents and they had the time of their lives, and so did I with this film. Guys, please check out Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again if you're a big fan of the first movie, because I think you'll like this movie even more.
The most disappointing, I didn't watch this one, but based on the reviews, I would say Ocean's 8. Now, I was kind of excited for this one because of the all-female cast, and I think there was a lot of good hype about it leading up to its release, but then when I started seeing all the reviews, I was like, probably not going to watch it, and I think everyone was pretty disappointed by it, the lackluster of the actual story, and it just fell through.
Now, my most disappointing film of the summer is a movie that I was most excited for. Yeah, there are a lot of disappointing films in the summer, including Solo, A Star Wars Story, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But there are big movies, but this movie, I was so excited for because I love horror movies. Yes, you see where it's going. This movie really was a letdown, and this had good reviews, and I don't understand why this movie got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's Hereditary. Now, I really was excited for this film. When I saw the trailers of this film, I'm like, this is going to be a great horror film. This is going to be like The Witch, but for a new generation, because I love The Witch. And speaking of The Witch, A24, great company. They make some pretty good films. This film, I don't understand why people like this film. This film was bloody confusing. There's so many elements in this film, and I'm like, what's happening? They had no explanation about it. The only positives that I like about this film is Toni Collette. I thought she stole the entire movie. I think she saved the movie for me. And the shot of this movie is great. It's fantastic. The look of the movie looks amazing. Especially the first shot of the movie. It's shot amazingly. But just this film felt more like a family tragedy film than a horror film. Like, the only horror element is just at the end of the movie. And even the horror elements weren't as scary. There were some parts that it did quite cleverly with the horror bits, but it just doesn't scare me. It mostly just get me out of feel like, what? I don't understand, guys, why people like this film, because I wanted to like this film, trust me, but literally, I went out of this film just with my personal opinion. I didn't like this film at all. I thought this is probably the most disappointing horror film of the year.
And again, based on the reviews that I've looked up, I think the worst film for the summer of 2018 is The Meg. I mean, how many more giant shark movies can we have?
Now, the worst summer movie of 2018 is a movie, I think you guessed what it is. I'm just going to get this out of the way, Olivia. Do you think The Meg is worse than this movie? Yeah. Watch The Meg, please, because Show Dogs is a lot worse than that movie. My God, this movie sucked ass. Like, guys, I'm just gonna say, don't watch this movie at all. It's just talking dogs in 2018 with terrible Looney Tunes CGI and dogs doing dabs and a terrible plot. Will Arnett and Stanley Tucci's in this movie. Like, freaking why? That's all I'm gonna say. Show Dogs is the biggest abomination. I think it's worse than 9 Lives and even the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie I'd rather watch more than this film. Even though the Emoji Movie is freaking atrocious, this film is extremely atrocious. Alright guys, let's get that out of the way. Let's start doing my top 5 best summer movies of 2018 and also Olivia's top 5 summer films of 2018. So let's start, guys, with number 5.
So moving on to the top 5 best movies of summer 2018. I'll start from number 5. Again, I haven't really seen this one. I was supposed to go see it, but then plans went awry. And, but based again on the reviews that I've read about it, Crazy Rich Asians is supposed to be very good. It's supposed to be just a funny, light-hearted romantic comedy. And it's got one of the better reviews out of all the summer movies. So that's number 5 on my list.
So my number 5 of my favorite summer movies of 2018 is a movie that I was really excited for. I love the first movie. I thought it was one of the best comic book films of all time. I never been so happy when I walked out of the first one. So of course I was more excited for the second one. And this movie was great. It is Deadpool 2. Now Deadpool 2 is a movie that I didn't think was as good as the first one. Honestly, the reason why it's lower on my list, it's because the first half of the movie kind of fell a little bit downward. Like, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to end up as an okay movie. But the movie just gets better and better and better and became a really fun movie sequel. The point of some movies is to have fun with these movies, you know? Like, they're not always the best movies of the year. I think Deadpool 2 is one of those movies. Ryan Reynolds is still Deadpool. Like, I can't see anyone else playing Deadpool besides Ryan Reynolds. Like, he was fantastic in this film. Also, Josh Brolin as Cable, really great villain. I actually really enjoyed him in this film. I thought he was a really great character. This little kid was also really funny. I don't find him annoying at all. I thought he was a very likable character. And also, the X-Force, one of the best superhero teams in this movie. Not gonna spoil what happens still, but it's probably one of the most funniest super teams I have ever seen. Especially Peter. Oh my god, Peter was just freaking awesome in this film. The action scenes were just more fun than the first movie. Oh, gotta be honest. The action scenes were a lot more fun. And you know what? This movie's just a fun time at the movies, and I just love a lot of pop culture references that Deadpool does in this film. I think the pop culture references are getting better in the first one. This movie's probably not as, like, fantastic story than the first one. I thought the story has a way better story. You can see, like, this film has, like, two different stories in one, but I still enjoy Deadpool 2, and that's why it's on my number 5.
Number 4 is one I just mentioned, so that's To All the Boys I Loved Before. I really, really loved that film. It was really, really fun and really sweet.
Now, my number 4 is a movie that I was literally not excited for. I could have put this in my most surprising, but Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, I think made me, like, more surprised than ever before, because this movie, I gave it a chance, and thank God it became great, and it's a movie that I recently reviewed. Crazy Rich Asians. Oh my god, this movie was a fun romantic comedy film. I'm not even a fan of romantic comedy films, and I think this film totally fixed romantic comedy movies up, and it could have been what 50 Shades should have been about. Not in that really inappropriate way, but you know, like with the story base, because this movie is just so much fun to watch. This movie's funny, this movie's sweet. I love Constance Wu, and I love Henry Gardner. I love the chemistry. It felt more real than any other romantic comedies ever. And also, Michelle Yeoh as the mother in the film just stole the entire movie. I thought she did so freaking well in this film. She felt like more of a realistic character to me. And this movie is also hilarious, especially Awkwafina. I thought she stole the entire comedy. There is one scene that I don't want to spoil, but it made me laugh so freaking hard because of her humor. And it makes me want to see her in more freaking comedies because of how funny she is. This movie is a very sweet film. The look of Singapore looks freaking amazing, and I can't wait to see what happens in the sequel of this movie.
Number 3 on my list is Avengers Infinity War. I really did like Avengers Infinity War. I felt like it was a bit long, but I'm a Marvel fan, so by default I should really love it, so I do. It was really the ending that got me, and it's got me hooked, and I can't wait for the next one.
Now, my number 3 is also Avengers Infinity War, cuz this movie was absolutely one of the biggest comic book movies of the year. It's probably my most anticipated comic book movie of the year. Is it probably the best MCU movie? In my opinion, no. I think Captain America Civil War was a little bit better in this movie. This movie is still great though, because the only complaint that I had with this movie is the scene with Thor, Rocket, and Groot. I just don't see it. I just thought like that took away the movie a lot. But that's why I put this on the middle of this list, because Thanos, my favorite villain in the MCU, just definitely great villain. Josh Brolin in my summer movie scene, just congratulations, man. He's one of the most menacing villains that I have ever seen. And the action scenes were fantastic, especially the Wakanda fight. Amazing. Just the action scenes were so freaking well. And guys, I watched this movie with my cousin, and we've never been this speechless at an ending of the movie since this movie. Holy shit. I'm still not going to spoil it if you guys haven't seen it, but if you've seen this movie, of course you know what I'm talking about. We literally couldn't speak after the ending of this movie. I'm just like, I wonder what's going to happen in Avengers 4. And that's what I can't wait to see. And it's becoming more of my most anticipated movie of next year. This is probably the best part 1 movie of the series, you know? Like, it's like the splitting in 2 parts. Like, usually part 1s of movies like this is not that good. This movie just, it took that away, and it became a really fantastic Marvel film.
Number 2, I enjoyed this movie way too much. I was a little worried when it was going to come out, because with sequels, they have a habit of not following through. Actually, the last two on my list are sequels, but number 2 on my list is Deadpool 2. I thought it was so funny and hilarious, and the same wit and humour from the first one transcribed into the second one. It was just, I thought it was a little bit funnier than the first one as well. And like the music as well, the fact that they played If I Could Turn Back Time made me laugh so much. But Deadpool 2, second favourite, loved it so much.
Now coming in my number 2 is Mission Impossible Fallout. Yes, Mission Impossible Fallout is some of the best action movies, like, nearly recent years. This movie definitely is my favorite out of the series. Like, I think this is better than Ghost Protocol and definitely better than Rogue Nation that came out 2 years ago. Tom Cruise, man, he is still old as hell, but he could still do some stunts. Oh my god, the stunts, every film, the stunts gets more insane and insane and insane. This film has probably more stunts than the first, like, couple of movies in the series. Like, literally. This movie definitely is probably one of the best action films in recent years, and the story of this film was so much fun. I think the story, I get it more than the other films, because the thing about Mission Impossible films, the story is always confusing. But it's kind of like a good thing, you know? This movie, I follow the story, and I get the whole entire movie, and that's why I think this is my favorite Mission Impossible movie of the franchise. The story was just fantastic. Tom Cruise was great. Henry Cavill, fantastic in this film. I think that this is his best performance I've seen in recent years. And also, just the action scenes, one of the best looking action movies in decade in this year.
And my first favourite, another one that I just can't deal, it's too good, is The Incredibles 2. I have no words. It was so good. I arguably think better than the first one. It was amazing. It was amazing. I went and watched it with Owen and we couldn't stop talking about it. It was great. It was worth the wait, worth the however many years we waited for the film. It was just amazing. Loved it so much. Want to watch it for the rest of my life. It felt like an actual Marvel film. Like, it didn't feel like a kid's film. It was just so good. It was so good. The way it was written, the way that it flowed, the continuity of it with the first one, even though it did take however many years for the second one to come out. It was amazing. Loved it so much.
Alright guys, my number 1. Now Olivia, you put Incredibles 2 in your number 1? Yes. You took over my number 1. It's Incredibles 2. I am so shocked that this movie was probably one of the best Pixar sequels ever. We've been waiting, let me hear about this. We've been waiting 14 years for this movie to be released. We got 3 freaking Cars movies, and holy shit, just why? This movie could have came out years ago before the Cars movies. But you know what? This movie's worth the wait. This is probably the most fun that I had with this year. This movie, literally, me and my cousin went to see this movie. We were crying our heads off. Like, this movie was what we wanted for years. The Incredibles is one of my favorite movies of all time as a child. And finally seeing a sequel that, like, not ruins your childhood just makes me more happy. I've never been this happy in a movie since I watched Incredibles 2. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people can dislike comments all you want. I thought this was a lot better than the first movie. I had a lot more fun with this movie than the first movie. It doesn't change the fact that I still like the first movie. I still love the first movie. But this movie brings what a sequel should have been. This is like Spider-Man 2, but with the Incredibles. This is like Captain America Winter Soldier with Incredibles. And yeah, a lot of people hate the Screenslaver. I thought the Screenslaver was an interesting villain. But it's a villain that I did not expect. That is just more interesting than any other Incredibles villains. Not trying to say that he's as good as Syndrome. They're both good villains. I kind of like get him out of the way, like seeing who's better villain. Because they're still great villains. But this movie's just a lot of fun. This movie is so hilarious, especially Jack who stole this entire movie. And the action scenes were just a lot better in the first movie. The animation was a lot better in the first movie. And this movie is just so much fun. I watched this movie literally so many times this year, and this is probably definitely my favorite movie of this year so far. Let's just hope there's no other movies better than this movie, because I want this movie to be on my number 1 of my favorite movies of this year. So guys, that is it, our top 5 favorite films in the summer of 2008. I want to thank so much Olivia for being in this video. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you had a lot of fun too. And let's hope you can be in my videos more in the future. So guys, what are your top 5 favorite movies in the summer of 2018? Let me know in the comments below. What is yours? You can have different opinions, or what is your most disappointing or surprising or worst movie in the summer? Let me know in the comments below as well. Guys, make sure you follow me on Facebook and Stardust. Keep in contact with me and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And have a nice day.
Thank you.